Daryl Acumen. I'm Senior Manager of Digital Analytics for Hewlett-Packard, and I'm standing here as a candidate for Vice Chair. Back in 2002, in a hallway back in D.C., I bumped into a guy named Josh James. We got to talking, and after a while, he looked at me and he says, "You know, you're a smart guy. Would you consider moving to Utah and working for me?" And I said, "You know, Josh, I like Utah. Nice mountains, nice people. I could do that." And he kind of gave me a sideways glance, and he said, "What do you know about Mormons?" I said, "What's a Mormon?" He said, "You're hired." I've been a resident of Utah County now for 11 years. I've been a Republican for 25, and I'm proud of both. But to help you understand why, I have to take you back 100 years to the First World War, to a young Army lieutenant from England who traveled to the Middle East, and with the mission of trying to convince the Bedouin tribes there to revolt against the Ottoman Turks who were supporting the Germans. When the war was over, he returned to England, settled into an uneasy retirement, and began work on his memoirs, which he modestly entitled The 7 Pillars of Wisdom. And in the introduction to that work, he tried to explain what motivated him to change the course of history. And he explained it this way. He said, "All men dream." Remember, this is 100 years ago. "All men dream, but not equally. Those who dream by night in the dusty recesses of their minds wake in the day to discover that it was vanity. But the dreamers of the day are dangerous men, for they may act on their dreams with open eyes and see them become real." Ladies and gentlemen of the Utah Republican Party, we are the most dangerous men and women on earth because we share a dream that's too exciting, too important to remain in the realm of fantasy. A dream of a nation that finally lives up to the promise of the vision of its founders, that's governed by the letter and the spirit of its founding documents, where the value of a human being is measured not just by the content of their character, but by the value they create for their fellow men, where our leaders are judged by their actions, not by their intentions, and where kids don't have to look in history books or wait for an annual pep talk from the president to find the greatness of America, because it's in the deeds and the actions of men and women in their community. Now, how do we achieve our dream? There are a couple of things I'm passionate about and I want to share with you. The first is this: we need to stop demonizing each other. Now, I was born in D.C., I grew up in Maryland. By the way, thank you for that beautiful, moving tribute to Baltimore earlier. But I don't know if you noticed this, but I'm black. My whole family's black. That means they're all Republicans, or they're all Democrats. I grew up with Democrats. I've been outnumbered my entire life. Let me tell you something. I know who the enemy is. And sorry, I don't know why I'm missing. They're not in this party. They're not in this room. The enemy, ladies and gentlemen, is Barack Obama. It's Jim Matheson. It's liberal economists like Robert Reich and cult leaders like Louis Farrakhan. I've been dealing with this my entire life, but I think here in Utah County, because the Democrats are so underfoot, we tend to forget who the enemy is and we look at each other instead. Now, the second thing I'm passionate about is protecting our caucus system and the way that we elect our elected officials. And to express why, let me share an anecdote with you. There's a couple old codgers out in Hebrew. They're sitting in a cabin, they're on the porch there, and there's an old hound dog at their feet. And he's just howling at the wind. Ow! Ow! The first old codger looks at the second and he says, "What's wrong with your dog?" The second looks back and says, "Oh, ain't nothing wrong with him, he's just laying on a nail." The first one looks back and goes, "Well, why don't he get up?" And the second looks back and goes, "Well, it don't hurt enough for him to get up off it, it just hurts enough for him to complain about it." Sometimes I feel some of the folks who are agitating for changes to our caucus system are basically just laying on a nail. If you don't feel that your voice is being heard, get up. Get out to the caucus every 2 years and speak up. Now, Pat Holman is a terrific man. I support him. I think he's wonderful. I'd be proud to support him as chair. But I'll tell you, it's not really important which one of us you choose right now. What's important is that every morning you get up and you continue to work. And by work, I mean you labor. Day after day, hour after hour, we toil in the service of the dream we all share until we can touch it with our hands and see it with our eyes. And we commit to each other that we will continue to live dangerously.